Hello and welcome back to that episode of Gregtech 6. Last episode started to make it some chemistry stuffy and make some sulfuric acid and some other recipes until I could get my hands into dynamite to explode things, but the rock was a little too strong. Now in this episode is about, as the title says, grinding time. I want to advance stuff, but for that I'll require a lot of grinding. So let's go. As you can clearly see from my place here, it is completely different from before. I decided to go with this checkerboard plate pattern here, but instead of a single block, I made it by 3x3. I think it is nice for the eyes. It's not too bland as just limestone or too colorful like it was before, like here or before. Well, as I said before, I wanted to advance the technology tree because I thought that since I have access now to carbonized steel, I could start working with the electric stuff, like I have the dynamo here that will require governance stuff here that I'll have access. But then battery just things I have at the hand there. I thought at first, but I saw that the lead acid battery here require a canning machine, and a canning machine requires circuits like this one here, and to make a circuit I require the board and the parts, and to make the board I require the plate itself. It requires plastic, and to make it plastic I need to mix ethylene with titanium tetrachloride or propylene, and titanium tetrachloride, you see, is required by the mixer, and chlorine, yeah, and so much stuff. But that's not all. To make the secret parts required to actually make the chip itself, require fine wire that is actually easy to do. That's totally easy, and then some of this stuff here. Even if you go for the headstone alloy plate here, I require this one here, and I require a alloy bowl. And to make it, I require a crystallization crucible filled with the argon, or in this case, helium. And that's not very easy to do. And look at so much time it's gonna take. And for that, I actually require a smelting crucible of what? Well, that is the easiest part, I think. But those gases, like the argon here, I have to get it from a clear distillation tower, and it works with the cold units. And to make cold units, I require electricity to do, and this amount above it. So that with the helium have the same thing, but I have an option that I can actually run monazite into a smelter. That I don't have. So yeah, quite troublesome. But the argon gas I can also gain it by drying biotite, and this, unfortunately, I have some of it that I get from washing some ores like solite, proper biotite, and other ones. So nickel. So this is not that difficult to get, but you can say that I'm not going to be able to do anything that requires most of stuff anytime soon. And to even get to the plastic, you need to make the distillation tower and everything. So yeah, have a lot of grinding. So I decided to go after the aluminum because this also is required to make some stuff that I gonna require in my base here. But for that, I have to use an electrolyzer with the aluminum dusting, cleolite, and aluminum fluoride. So because cleolite is actually this hydrogen fluoride here that is just any fluoride with the sulfuric acid. This is okay. And the aluminum dusting and the sodium hydroxide. The sodium is actually easy to get. Just have to electrolyze salt. A lot of salt. And the alumina is one difficult stuff because there is not many ways to get it from the start of the game. And that is one of the grinds, because I can get some from bauxite if I water wash the bauxite. I have a chance to get a little bit of alumina, and then later on I can actually refine it further, because now that I have access to the sulfuric acid, I can use it into betting recipes. In one of these is bauxite, but when I bait it into sulfuric acid, I will gain more bauxite itself, and there's vitriol of clay, and there's that can electrolyze at this amount to get more alumina. But to get this amount of power, I won't be able to do it at first. And to get the electrolyzer, I require some galvanized steel, tin cables, and platinum wire. Oh my god, platinum. And what can give me platinum? There is a lot of recipes, but in reality the easiest one is to be a spirulite. Luckily I have found some spirulite. I even have some already mined with my fortune pickaxe. If I can find it, of course. Here. Then if I process it, I'm gonna get some amount of it. Wait, what? That's not right. It seems I was completely wrong. I thought this was the one that gave me that, but actually no. I have to get sheldonite or the spheratite itself, and it's a byproduct of passing like cassiterite, chocopyrite, snakes don't exist, garnieri, and oh, tin. And this one here is like I can sluice it and have one of the chances one of the last ones to be true. And 3%. And take account how much I processed that stuff before I don't have any luck. I actually did have it, but I processed it, didn't I? Oh, I can, instead of sluice it, I can actually bait it into mercury, and I have this amount doing so. So I think I'm gonna have to do that. I do have some mercury around here. I want platinum for two things. One is to make the cables to well, the electrolyzer so can actually start working to get that aluminum going. But the other one is to make something different. How should I say? Knowing this broke all my train of thought. I actually found it. It's here. I have 12 of it. Nice. So I don't actually need to process it, but I actually found that I can further process it if I bat it into aqua regia. I can get more of it. I can get this back in here, but also this here. This platinum group sludge. It can give me some very nice materials like iridium, osmium. It's a nice thing to go to. And aqua regia only require nitric acid and hydrofluoric acid, something that I can already create. But I did not set up something to do that. But even so, I still need to actually operate the process to get the alumina. So now I do have something to do. Anyway, before I continue rambling about it, I have here the new setup for the process line. I have the crusher, the sluicing, centrifuge, and here the shredder. Now if you go down here, you're going to see that I have a single strong steam boiler of steel and this burning box of steel as well. So this is the one that's gonna be operating all of this. Because if you remember, I told you a long time ago that I could actually use tiny pipes to pressurize and stuff it as you need it. Because this is probably something you tried before and you did not succeed or exploded. Because you have to have the body producing this thing enough to actually work everything, but it also has limitation into the machines itself. Because if they receive more steam than they can handle, they will not work. In this case here, I have those pipes here. The tiny bronze, as I explained before, it has a bandwidth of 75. That is the max amount it can transfer for thick. So they're gonna go all the way from the bronze pipe that can actually handle, can transfer 400 steam, and the steam alloy pipe here can only transmit 62. So this is not to actually work the steam turbines of Invar. And I have one here for the actually steam engine of steel. As you see, it is working. This one here, this one here, and this one here. This is still not working because this needs times to heat up, but it is actually working. As you can see, pressure is not building up. If you click in the pipe with the magnifying glass, you see that the steam don't increases too much. Because this pipe can transfer 400 steam each time, and the pipes are taking the amount the pipe allows it every time. So I actually put some limitations into how much they can draw from the main pipeline, and put the one that was the maximum amount of steam at the back, because if you put together the numbers, this is 62 plus 62. This one, I believe it's just a normal copper one, that is 15. and this one produce 265. So those three are gonna be using most of it. While the rest is gonna be used by the steam engine to power up the crusher. And here they go. It is processing oil shale that is gonna be used to make oil for the distillation tower. And here we have a setup with the pipes to go in to one side here, and using the ultimate hoppers, deposit 8 of it in the dust funnel to make it into tiny piles. This one is, if this one gets filled up, that's gonna be at some point. And then they go here to this hoppers here. By the time they're gonna get to 9, they'll place it here into the dust funnel to make it actually the dust itself. And I forgot to actually configure it. Now should be working as intended. So you can actually run more than one machine with a single boiler, but as you might expect, that's not very effective, because when this is running, I have to have everything running. So later on, I'm gonna change to individual boilers for each one. So I can start them and stop at any time I want, because I have a lot of material to process. And I truly mean a lot. As I say, from this point on, it's going to be a lot of grinding. So let's go get some bauxite, some salt, to start processing everything here. And now that I have a new motivation to actually work into acid to bait the spare light, so I can actually have something to process. Bauxite is not that difficult to find, as you can see it is here. So let's use our pickaxe to grab a lot of it. I could use the dynamite here, but it's not that here, to be honest. So I think picking it normally will be more than enough, even though the amount of aluminum I'm gonna get from it is just a marginal low. Like we have one chance here, just one. All the other rest is gonna be in stock for later, except the hematite to make more iron steel. We're going to burn a lot of steel, and that really means a lot. At first I was a little worried when I saw that I needed a lot of salt to do stuff here, but salt's not that difficult to find into the world after all. You can find layers of salt into the world. So I have to do just grab it as I do with the bauxite, and I'll have more salt than I know what to do with it. And my pickaxe is breaking, but very soon when I start processing that sets to quartz, I'll be able to actually make the other pickaxe with fortune. Not 3, but good enough to grab salt and bauxite. One of the things that I want that the crochet quartz is because processing it will give me some tiny of this infrared ore, and this infrared ore, when fully processed, give me this metal, and this metal has fortune too, so it's a easy way to get a fortune. I have found some into the nether here, as you can see. So let's put this one to actually wash it in updating the nether quartz. Even though I'm gonna actually process some of this spherulite to get some platinum. At least let's go with all of it. 2 platinums will not be that much. The first sacrifice is always the most problematic. This is still here because if I try to remove it now, it's going to explode. You can guess how I discovered that. It's not only it's in the green, even here it's going to explode. Because you can guess how I discovered that. And we got this amount of tiny spherulite. I can actually go here and combine it into bigger ones. This big one have a lot more material than the normal one, than the crucial version. Each one of these is worth 3 platinum nuggets. Now let's talk about a little alloys. For a long time I have been using mostly steel that I make because it's easy to make. People like to do head steel early on because it has a good durability, double the amount of the steel one. But I think it's a little bit too much complicated. Having to make steel, brass, rose gold, black steel. Brass is just copper and zinc, but rose gold require copper and tin, for as I can remember. Right. 4 gold, 1 copper to make 5. We need 1, so it's a little bit. And black steel, steel with black bronze and nickel, and black bronze is copper with electron. So it is a very long chain of crafting, but it has a good durability. But I find it too annoying. I think I will just stick in making galvanized steel. It only requires 1 nugget of zinc for each ingot, and you gain half of more durability on it. So it's up to you. But what I really want to do now is make something to help me maximize my dynamite. That's why I also make this thing to get platinum, because I want to make this Enderium ingot, because it has silk touch, quality 3, and some decent durability. I know 256 don't think it's too much, but it is a lot. But to do it, I actually require something else first. That is this Enderium base. And the Enderium base is tin, silver, and 1 platinum. Make 4 of it. So it won't can actually make a knock for me. So I already have it. Give me my platinum. I only have to get some silver that I have here and some tin. Good. Anything else that I forgot? The dog is barking, so I have lost my concentration. No, it's all here. Let's make it into my small crucible here. One silver, 2 tins, and 1 platinum. And go. And The temperature is this high. Okay. Well, the indium base as we made it. Now let's add the last element, that is the ender dust. That is just placing this into it. Now we're gonna have to wait for this temperature here. Well, that should be more than enough to make the alloy. So let's stop it. Come on, stop. Stop! Now I want one ingot and plates. Now I got this indium. Now let's make a pickaxe with it. A construction pickaxe for your terror. Like this. And so a fillet and a hammer. An indium construction pickaxe with silk touch. Now I have to do is stick a stick in it. And here we go. A pickaxe with silk touch. Now let's go do the magic. Now if I find any ore that I detect that is very precious and I want to maximize the amount of it, I can discuss it right. Yes, I know it's not hair, but if you remember, they can actually be used to make it, to get more of this. Into the back. You can get more of the platinum one. So let's say that it is hair. And don't forget that most of the time I show you things here is not the best way, just showing options. If I grab the ore with the indium that it has silk touch, it comes whole into my inventory. And according to the mod author, I can do this and do something else after. So let me grab it. Now let's test it. I have almost half a stack of marble casterite. Let's make a 3x3 area. Let's make some walls here. Let's put a dynamite against it. And then ooh. And there you go. From 20 and 6 casterites, we got triple of that. So if you have one or that you want especially to double using dynamite, this is one way. But yeah, this is expensive to make. But I did not take that much durability from the pickaxe because marble is very soft. But if I try to do something like with the chromite or a harder stone, you take a lot more. Later on, and I mean very later on, you can actually use the plates to make a drill tip. And a drill uses more power than durability. And if you make it from aluminum that is tier 2, it's going to... Wait, what? indeed level 3. Oh, it is level 3. I thought it was level 2. So yeah, later on you can actually make a drill of it. And it can even be a low voltage. And it's gonna last a lot longer than the normal one. So yeah. But as I said, I'm gonna grind a lot. Because I really started to work with the chemistry stuff, we're gonna have a lot of liquids, gas, and same thing with the distillation tower. We're gonna have so much fluids. So we're gonna have starting working to getting stainless steel and invar tanks. Invar is the easiest one. They are just like the wood one into the top here. 26 blocks of walls. Since each one is 4, I'm gonna need at least 100 of each to make a single tank. And I'm gonna have a lot of different fluids and everything to store. So I'm gonna grind a lot of yellow limonite, brown limonite, make a lot of steel, make a ton of stainless steel and everything else. At least processing yellow limonite will give me some of the nickel. And if I really want, I can just do it. Oh my. I am so frustrated right now, you don't believe how. And even though I play this PlayStation here, this is not very effective because not everything should be centrifuged and processed and everything else. Some is better to go into the sifter. Like if I wanted, I could pass this one here into the sifter to get the chance of getting the gen and some of the dust instead of going to the centrifuge to get the stuff. But since I want this Ephraim and this body quartz is not bad, I will allow it. But for the things like this beryllium, that is a gem. It's not a gem? Color me surprise. Anyway, and I forgot about it to show you this to the time why I made this cactus farm was to run the fermenter, because with the fermenter I can actually now make biomass that I can already burn if I want. But I can further process into the distillation tower to get some very good materials, or using the distillery as well to make ethanol to burn them, and I can actually use it instead of using solid fuel. But for now, solid fuel is okay, and it's not that difficult to get. We have so much coal available into the world, so why not use it? Just make one of those Ephraim pickaxe and grab everything here. I'll be drowning in coal for a very long time. And if I manage to make it at the station tower, I'll be able to process oil and having fuel as well. So that is many options, but that's it it's a lot of grind. I know I am repeating myself, but you don't know how much this stressed me. There's just so much I need to do to give you one single step. This is like Dr. Stone, that did not happen in reality. That you have to grind a lot and a lot just to make it a single stuff here. Because what I am missing here is just the circuit, but just to make a simple circuit is a lot of steps. Too much steps to be truth. Chlorine. So much. So sorry if you are bored with this episode. That's gonna have some setup here and starting to actually do something more interesting or not. I cannot promise anything because this is grinding, very grinding. So this was On God. Thank you so much for watching.